So, welcome back.
Well, hey,
How you doing?
not too bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. So, did you know Kazuna has a problem?
Surprisingly, I think almost 4,000 people seem to agree.
Looks that way. It looks that way. A couple other content creators agree too. Snowman.
And perhaps a company of sorts may or may not be watching.
Well, let's cross our fingers and our toes today, because in today's video we're gonna talk about the video that we actually made. Kazuna has a problem, and we're gonna go through and take a look at some of your guys' comments. At the end of the day, this particular video right here was designed to benefit the player base and benefit the game mode, not just have a cry about the fact that everyone's ranking now in 3-star. Because Kazuna has a genuine problem. Superboss has no longer become about the Superboss. Now we're doing trillions of damage to a HP cap that maxes out at 1 trillion. And people are running the 3-star difficulty expecting or thinking that that is a productive way of spending their time and their resources to try and maybe rank in the top 100 one time. Doesn't make much sense to me, man. What do you reckon?
Look, I think that we're at a situation where there is a big problem. And, you know, sometimes you have to be the voice of reason and take... you know, and combat that and take it on. It's not a fun thing. I think a lot of the comments in this, under this video are really good, but then there are a lot of comments that are, how you say, needlessly reductive. And I think that that's probably the whole journey that we're going to take today, is have a discussion on a variety of those comments and kind of go from there.
Definitely. And look, if you enjoyed the video, belt the like button. Make sure to smash the like. If you guys want to go comment, please comment. And look, at the end of the day, like, we're not throwing any shade, just like the players that you guys see on screen here. We're not throwing shade at anyone for their comments. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. And I really actually appreciate you guys taking the time to actually comment on the video, watching the whole thing. It was 43 minutes long, Dan. So, like,
long video.
Big ups to you guys for watching it, taking the time, putting your opinions down as well, because people do watch, people do listen. So the more noise we can make about this, the better. And look, we're probably a little bit out of line with some of the things we said here and there, but at the end of the day, it comes from a passionate place. Doesn't come from a place of destruction. So if you guys are watching, please understand that.
No, absolutely. It's like I think, like, you know, we're core players, right? Like, you know, you have the variety of players. You have core players, like ones that we've been around for like a long time. We've played the game for a long time. You know, we put up with a lot of shit, and, you know, thankfully enough, we are in positions where we kind of have these audiences and pedestals. Stump obviously more than myself, but we have these opportunities to voice our opinions, and, you know, hopefully it gains traction and then we're heard. So we kind of try to do our best to use it.
There's a reason I bring you on for the state of the games, brother. All right, so let's dive in. Where I'm gonna try and find like the big ones. There's 88 comments on this video, so like we're not gonna go through all of them, but we're gonna do our best here. Remember the times you need 10 minutes to read and understand a special and captain of a new character? It's hilarious, but like not related to Kazuna.
That's facts.
5-second energy. Shout out to Sinu. He is the prime example of your core player. Summons here and there, doesn't spend much money. I don't know if he spends any money, to be honest. But a lot of recent super bosses have been feeling more and more restrictive and hard to put up big numbers if you're not a whale or pull on every banner.
I think like this opens up the immediate conversation of like, what is the purpose of Superboss? Is the purpose of Superboss to like play with your alliance and kill it together? Or is the purpose of Superboss to do like 500 billion damage and take it down in two shots, right? Like, so my perspective is that in a perfect world, it should take anywhere between 3 to 10 clears to get that. 10 being that if every single person in your alliance participated one time, you would take down a super boss. I think that's a perfect world scenario. In reality, it should be like somewhere between 3 clears at maximum to like 25, right? That's like kind of your threshold, because in my opinion, Superboss was designed as an opportunity to get people playing the game together, which is why we have the alliance feature, which is why we have the alliance chat feature and such, where it's like you coordinate with your alliance to take down this demonic creature that has a lot of HP and is really hard. But at the same time, I think because of how the community functions and bigger number equals better person sometimes, it actually doesn't, but in the community sense, it kind of does a lot.
How you use it, guys.
Where like you see somebody doing 1 trillion damage, you're like, oh, I should be doing that. And I've fallen victim to that a lot. You know, Stump can attest to it. Like a lot of times I'll complain to him and say like, I can't do that damage, but I'm still able to do like 300 billion, and that's just as good, right? Obviously it costs us more tokens to clear the boss, but what I'm trying to get at is you have to really kind of take an abstract perspective on things and decide/determine what's more like what is super boss to you and what is super boss like in general, I suppose.
Yeah, I think you sort of hit it on the nail on the head. I think 2 runs for someone that rainbows all the new units is a pretty acceptable amount, maybe with a bit of a multiplier here or there. If you've thrown in the money to rainbow, say, like, the newer characters that the content's kind of designed for, because, like, at the end of the day, like, that's the gacha world. The content gets designed for particular characters, and some characters within the meta or within the time shift are going to do better than others. Like, for example, Blackbeard and his batch versus the Dex boss, like, that was the ideal situation. Yeah. I feel like if you have everything maxed out, completely maxed out, like final taps, everything, 2 runs is pretty acceptable. Like,
absolutely right. Yeah.
Pretty spot on. Whether it's between 500 to say 750 billion, cool case. But I feel like anything less than 100 billion damage to an established player that doesn't have the new batch, like none at all. Say for example, you're running something like a Gear 5 team, which most people were actually doing for the Dex variation because it was quite challenging. But around 100 billion damage on that fight should be pretty acceptable. I feel like that's completely reasonable. For someone who has been playing the game for a very long time, that has quite an established box. Obviously, if you've just come to the game in the last 6 months and expect to dive into a super boss, one of the most challenging events, it's a 15-star event. There's not much else that puts up 15 stars.
Yep.
Correct. You can't expect to be hitting anything within the echelons of what some of these other people have been doing that have been building up their account for the last 2 to 3 years. Unfortunately, like super boss is still going to reward the end game players or reward the core player. However, that I don't think that the new players should be punished in that much of a regard, and still seeing around 50 billion damage should be a pretty acceptable number for most new players.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that kind of leads into that comment below there. And I think that that's a really interesting perspective to take. I have to disagree. This is from JCrime123. I have to disagree. The solution is not to punish the people who do the 3-star, but to reward the people who do 10-star. You have to nerf the weekend. Otherwise, it's a big middle finger to anyone who doesn't have the resources to do anything. It's the same as if they pop up a message that says, you're a new player, better quit and uninstall. You'll never get anywhere. I think that's a bit crazy, but I mean, I think at least the way I interpret that comment is, you know, you have to make 10-star more desirable, which I think a lot of these comments kind of lean towards. And I think a lot of the quote-unquote negative comments on the video were more like, you guys are shit because you're saying that, like, 3-star is the accessible mode. We have to nerf that. And I've run the numbers, you know, I'm a numbers guy. If you nat stam the entire Kazuna of just your, of just pure nat stam tokens, you can do a total of 84 runs on 3-star, 45 runs on 7-star, and 33 runs on 10-star. Those 84 runs on 3-star get you 35,000 points, which is nothing, right? Yeah. The 33 runs on 10-star from Natstam get you 1.2 million points. Like, even if you're a beginner and you can't, like, I think, what was it? It's about, let's say, just over 3 10-star runs get you more points than 84 3-star runs. Yeah. Obviously, at the high end, the 3-star run is more efficient, keyword there. But if you're a beginner player, it is better off for you to genuinely spend your tokens trying to run 10-star, losing, and putting up the assist, and hoping somebody finds it and does it. Or genuinely, potentially, you could even make the argument of just continuously going and farming that 10-star boss as if you were versing the super boss. Because the runs you're doing is going to equate to way more points playing 10-star in the shorter end. That's what I would genuinely recommend for a beginner player. There is no value as a beginner, as a new account, to play the 3-star or the 7-star version at all. You should only be playing the 3-star version if you intend to do more than 380 runs. I think that's just the pure and other caveat. I think that genuinely does answer a lot of questions or a lot of comments that.
But to be fair, though, like, it shouldn't be expected to do 380 runs or something. Like, that should not be an expectation of the player base.
Correct.
Which is what I'm sort of alluding to with these other comments here. So, to be honest, I can't really get myself to care about this. Being free to play just doesn't allow me to care about an event that was made to screw me over for not having all the recent legends, with shitty mechanics like 2 turns of intimidation. The whole event, when it have a super boss, is a shit show from my point of view. I agree with your thoughts. I'm a returning player for sleeps than a year now. It's so hard to build ships, limit break, evolve certain character items without having years of playtime earning the rewards. With so much content coming out, rewards and means to build, evolve need to increase. I grind decently for events and use those resources immediately, and then can't build until the next event. It's very frustrating.
That's a really, like, the core of that comment is very valuable there, where it's like, some people, if for example, if you're like a 10 million out Andy, which I am, I put my hand up, you know, and you're a 150 and out PK Andy, again, that's me, and you're a Nat Stamina out Andy and Kazuna, again, also me. Thankfully, I have 8 years of experience, and I believe, and I'll be honest with you, this is my 3rd account, you know, so thankfully the account that I have now has a adequate amount of resources where I can, like, Nat Stamina out a lot of events and item and quests, and still have resources to max out more characters. But from that perspective, where if you are a 10 million out person in TM, you are not going to have enough resources to max out more than a couple. What do they say? Like, it's like 3 or 4 limit breaks.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that for 10 mil. Yeah,
which is like nothing for a new account that's getting potentially like 10 to 15 new legends a month for the first like 6 months or so. It's not a lot to keep up with. So I do agree to the sentiment of that.
Definitely. We'll get into the, like, increasing your rewards and stuff like that in a bit, but we'll quickly just keep going through some of these comments. Like, Krooby's another player. Mom, I made it. Jokes aside, after being away from the nitty-gritty of this game for a while, listening to this was truly interesting. The new 3-star stat basically shined a light on an issue that Bandai never thought of and would come about developing a game mode, and only went unpunished for so long because no one thought about it, which is surprising given the players' investment in this game. And I think trying to fix it means Bandai has to go into the basic Kazuna mechanics, change them around, which in my opinion they're most definitely going to screw up. Suffice to say, it's going to be interesting to see how this addresses and moving forward. Now, Krooby's one of those players that sort of comes back to the game, and again, he's a product of having a lot of resources, but seeing all this unfold and sort of seeing how it is, being like, oh well, now this is just like us way to find it, a more efficient way to play the game. It's just a crux issue.
Yeah, exactly. I wanna also put onto that too, like, I don't really do this often. I don't think Jin and I have the best relationship, but I would love to give a shout out to Jin because, you know, he is a genuine mastermind when it comes to a lot of things to come with Treasure Cruise. And as far as I'm aware, he definitely thought of this at some point, but he made a great comment saying,
another one.
At the time, you couldn't do the damage. Like,
well, 10 bills a pipe dream.
Exactly. 10 bills a pipe dream was a very good comment to make there. Whereas like now doing 1 trillion damage is so easy that this becomes accessible. But like, let's say 3 years ago, doing like 10 to 15 bill was like, I remember massive. I have YouTube videos from way back. I know, me making videos, right? Where I made a 1 billion and 2 billion damage team, and everyone was like, holy shit, like,
this is
that's
crazy.
So much damage. Now it's like, we do 1 trillion, you're like, is that all? Like, you know, it's crazy that like how far the game's come as well in terms of power creep.
Yeah, I remember Superclass Doflamingo coming out and
change the game,
playing on Japan with Snuffy and some of those guys. And I believe like when you had everything, you were doing like 6 billion, 7 billion damage with a 1.5 multiplier, and that was just nuts. To see like 30 super boss clears was crazy. So I feel like we kind of forget that was kind of once a norm. Because we've had super bosses like Doflamingo, and we've had super bosses like Anniversary, where we had all these big numbers, and now that we've gone backwards, everyone's kind of gone, well, hang on, no, I don't like this, because why do we not have that? And I don't think that making Super Boss is harder to punish. That is the correct way of going about it. I think sort of scaling and making it bigger, increasing the HP cap and stuff like that should be more of an answer rather than sort of throwing a disgusting amount of like debuffs at people. Yeah. When really you should be able to get around everything in the Super Boss. The only thing that should get nerfed is your damage output.
Yeah. I agree.
Some people had a lot of stuff to say, like free-to-play players, and I do want to go through them. I get your point, and most of us do. I don't think you understand what it's like to be free-to-play. You have never been in their shoes. 3 and 7-star are for people who can't beat 10-star super bosses. Grand Voyage, PK, Grand Party are made for OGs, Dolphins, whale players, not made for new players or free-to-play friendly. If some whales wanted to cheat to get ranking number 1, so what? A lot of content builders get caught cheating, and Bandai will still let them have their accounts back. Think about that for a second.
Okay, so I want to start off by saying that I was somebody who did cheap gems way back. And my first account is still restricted from transfer restricted, period. So Bandai don't give accounts back.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely have there been situations where they do, if ever. And I know a lot of people that still play the game that were in the same boat and still have their accounts restricted almost 10 years later. Further to that comment, I've been in your shoes, and I'm sure Stump has as well, but we have been free to play for plenty of time. Yes, we spend money now, but when I was a broke university student, I didn't spend money. Further to that, on my second account, I was also transfer banned because, hey, guess what? I tried refunding. Same thing, right? And I wasn't able to purchase or transfer my account at all. So I couldn't purchase gems on that account whatsoever. So I know what it is like to be free to play.
Yeah. I do think they make a very good point though with the 3-star and 7-star for people who cannot beat 10-star.
Okay.
Let
me
go on.
Let me portray it like this, sorry. What's the purpose of the assist system, Stump?
Yeah, to save each other.
Correct. So what is stopping you from doing the suicide strat?
Yeah, you do need friends to save you and stuff like that. My argument towards this comment is that up to level 30, I believe that new players should easily be able to beat 10 stars with free-to-play options. I think giving access to... And they did quite a good job with it initially with the free-to-play Straw Hats, and they do it with PKA. Every single month, I am now making it like a must to do up to level 99 with the free-to-play Straw Hat characters, and then like a Friend Captain Gear 5. Friend Captains, obviously, like you do need the Friend Captain system, but it's going to be with one of the most sought out legends in the game.
There are so many discords.
There are so many ways to find friend captains, and I understand it's effort, but at the end of the day, like if you're not going to put in the effort, then don't put the effort in to complain. However, I still think that at least up to like level 15, maybe, like it should be very free to play friendly. But again, if you are a new player, if you're maybe playing the game for 2-3 months, don't expect to just jump into the hardest piece of content. Like,
yes. And whilst obviously the portrayal of the game is very much like the content creators and discords showing off the grandiose side of things, Super Boss, you can clear Super Bosses. It's a team effort, right? It is an alliance effort. You get rewarded for the more people that jump into the boss, as a matter of fact, because you do more damage. Grand Voyage, there are 5 difficulty levels per quest. You can clear them and earn some of the rewards. Oh, but Papi, I'm not earning all of them. Again, you're a new player, fresh account. Don't expect everything. PKA, the maximum for PKA that you need to do is 90 runs. 90 runs nets you all the entire character for that month. Yes, you might miss out on some Super Cola, but as a beginning player, that's irrelevant. The game has systems in place that allow you to play the game, which is the same argument for the 3 and 7-star. But if you're farming the 3-star with natural stamina, you are not earning enough tickets, my friend, to get to those later boxes. So, like, I don't understand the argument of saying that they're made for free to play or beginning players. Whilst that's true, you're taking that argument and then comparing it to the end game player that is getting all the rewards. You have to find a balance. When you're new to any game, you're not going to be good at it. You're not going to be able to keep up with a lot of the end game players that have been playing it for years. Some of us have been playing it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 years now. Like, it's all about perspective at the end of the day, right? It's all about how you view it. If you view it that you want that end game stuff, then by all means, you're just going to have to spend money.
Spend money or invest time. Like that's the crux of any gacha game, honestly.
Exactly.
Not just OPTC. I've been playing Pokemon Masters free to play. Dabbling here and there with a couple of gem packs and like the high value ones. But like they have like a weekly event that you can max out 15,000 points. Like I've been playing the game for maybe like the last, I don't know, 4 months, and I've only just hit that point. I've had to build my way up and gain characters and play the game to get to that particular point. And sure, there is a bigger underlying problem with this particular Kazuna, but like you can't sort of sit there and just keep throwing the blame at the same time at the crux of the issue when there are other options available for you.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, just before we move on real quick, I think that there's no excuse. If you want to get to those levels, grind.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too much of a time investment. Well, unfortunately, for better or worse, that's Treasure Cruise. And unfortunately, for better or worse, that's gacha games. Because at the end of the day, the companies that make them want A, your time, B, your money. Your KPIs, how much you're sitting in the game, how long you're playing it, is like crack cocaine to these companies. Because like, oh my God, people are playing this shit a lot. Furthermore, the amount of money you're spending is just as good, if not better, for them too. That's why they designed them with predatory psychological systems that prey on your dopamine receptors and your serotonin to force you into positions where you psychologically manipulate your own mind into spending money or playing a lot more. Plain and simple.
Definitely. All right, Forest. Kazuna has been a problem since the longest time. I'd say the last boss that was fun was Doflamingo. Whilst I agree, I do disagree. The nerf on the Kazuna Clash tickets and mediocre rewards for S-tier rewards are fine, but now with a 3-star strat are what make them more terrible. Regular Kazuna Clash is even worse. That's another thing that we haven't touched on too.
That's a whole different can of worms.
But I think it also stems into the same problem, right? Like, because regular Kazuna Clash, the rewards are so bad that, like, the whole point of that game mode is just to get your hands on the 6+ unit, so that way you don't suffer in the next couple of game modes that come, like Treasure Map and PKA.
Get your 30 gems. He's right though. S rank, the only rank, like a lot of the time, it's hey, let's just stay in S rank because any S rank 1, 2, and 3 give you 30 gems, which is
pretty much profit
in reality, right?
Now I don't think they need to be increased in terms of the rewards for ranking. I think the ranking rewards, do whatever the hell you want with them. But I do think that the box rewards do need to be shifted.
Yes.
Because if you are going to like play the game mode a lot and get a whole bunch of tickets, but not get a lot of tickets because they nerfed that, they either need to compensate by making the boxes better, like the rewards just better, or compensate by giving us a buttload of tickets so that way we can just continuously open more boxes to then help players get level up materials. Tomes is massive for new players. Like, not having the power-up tomes is absolutely huge. Rumble flags, cotton candy, all that kind of stuff. And whilst, yes, it is grindable within the game modes, and there are plenty of videos on how to get cotton candy and tomes, farming up Chaos Colosseums, they only give 2 Recollective Archive tomes a day, right? Yeah. Like, you can unlock 2 Chaos Colosseums because they've removed that. So
for 30 minutes each, by the way, or an hour each.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not a lot of time to farm.
So yeah, but like while saying that the last super boss that was fun was Doflamingo was a lot of fun because it was the first super boss to officially break the damage cap that we once saw. We went from doing like 10 billion damage, 15 billion damage to like 350 to 400 billion damage, and that dopamine jump has what's caused all of this uproar, really, because now we're doing trillions of damage and the scaling of the super boss doesn't match the scaling of the easier forms. And being able to just do that trillion damage means that you can just run something that's so easy and get all the rewards. At the end of the day, the ranking isn't the problem. That's not the issue. I could care less if my alliance comes top 50, top 10, if people are going to sit there and grind 3 stars. My concern is the people that are sitting there grinding the 3 stars, banging their head against the wall, thinking that this is a norm that has to be created within the community and the game mode. Like, that's not okay, man. Like, that's not okay, like, as a functional human being. I've spoken to Rizzy. He came second. He's like, that was terrible. Playing the same game was mind-numbingly boring. And yeah, that's on him for doing it. Don't get me wrong.
No, correct. Absolutely.
But the whole top 100 was like that. The whole top 100 was well over. Top 10 was over 800 runs, everyone. Like, that's that mentality of being like, if I want to rank, and like, again, that's up to you, but seeing that and being like, okay, I want to be a top player, I want to do more, be more, have more, all that stuff is then forcing you down a really dark hole of
spending more time and money.
Yeah, well, it's more the time thing for me. Yeah, and like a lot of people do say here with their 3 stars,
like that comment was just below the one you just read. It's pretty much summed it up. You know, it's unfortunate that that's what top players do. It's like, that's a sad reality. That's what a top player is. Like maybe like 6-7 years ago, the top player was fucking Razor because he used the Penguin on a team to save himself like 3 frames on a run. Back then, like, it was ganks, because back then you used to do tome runs, but like the climate of the game has changed, unfortunately. I mean, I point towards that Totsuki video on the right there. How, like, look at it. We went from that gear 2 to that gear 3
no, they can't
to
see
the
it,
gear
but
4.
yeah.
Oh, you can't even see it? Okay, it's fine there. But like, there's a thumbnail from Todd's most recent video where it's essentially just like this idea of like what's going to come for 10th anniversary. And it's this idea of, and if you look at that in terms of power creep, like the comparison between like a gear 4, like Bounce Man, if you look at like V2 gear 4 or something like that, and then comparing that to gear 5 is a ridiculous leap in terms of how the game is played. And like, it is true. The game is primarily this time and money investment now. And if you don't want to be part of it, the best part is you don't have to do that. Will you get the fame and accolades? It's like, no, but like, maybe you're playing the game for the wrong reason if that's your perspective.
No, but you still should be being rewarded if you are going to play the 10-star. You should still be rewarded if you are still playing at the hardest level. And that comparison, I believe I was talking to you about it before this, like you got 6,000 tickets?
Yeah, 6,000 tickets.
6,000 tickets, and you did 50-something runs,
I did 50
something
runs,
assists.
50 assists, 32 super bosses.
Which is still a lot. Like, I know if you compare it to the big numbers at the end, like the top 10 alliances, it's not, but at the same time, it still is a lot. Like, it's still a lot of running, it's still a lot of difficulty, and the rewards that you gain from that just do not match up. So, and look, people definitely agree. Like, 100% agree when people used to do the super bosses, it used to be more fun taking down a huge boss together. Now it just feels like an individual game mode after the strat, starting to become more like treasure map. For me, it's just a glorified blitz now. The rewards are nowhere near close to grinding this ass of World Cruise in the top 150 gems, so I'm never doing that again. No, I'm about it. Kizuna is so damn boring most of the times. Last thing I want to do after a long day of work is grind this.
Yeah, fair.
I disagree. The problem for most players with Kizuna, especially new players, is that it's pretty hard to max the units, get the skull. See, this is a really good comment. Correct. Plus, the units locked behind the Kizuna tokens are too expensive. What are the tokens that you earn? The game mode should be designed so clearing 3 stars can clear all the boxes without any boosters, including a frame captain. As long as they are doing around 20 assists, and those using boosters for some runs need to do their assists. So
it's a fair shout, actually. I think so. I think that at the end of the day, most of the time, it's about, if you clear box 1 to 6, should be the maximum. That's how it genuinely should be. Box 7 is luxury, right? It's just the bougie items, you know. Box 1 to 6, which is like what? It's like 30 tickets, 50 tickets, 100, 200, 500 or something. I don't know. I think it's like 1.2 thousand tickets total. I kind of agree that you should be able to acquire 1.2 thousand tickets by playing your natural stamina in either 3, 7, or 10. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And then there's a whole other can of worms with the insignias. Don't even get us started with that conversation.
Yeah, the Kizuna insignias are definitely something that needs to be increased for new players. Just being able to unlock everything that's in that shop. Because like those units will pop up eventually as a niche area where you want that unit. It's a perfect unit or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Even so, like we got Chaozu here. Shout out to Chaozu. Really hope this is the last big event with the 3-star straight available. Let's hope JP players can play hard. The thing is, it shouldn't just have to be the JP players. Again, this is a top grinder saying that they don't want to do it, but they know they have to do it because that is what the dichotomy of the game allows.
Chaozu also someone who did like 900 something runs, by the way.
Yeah,
and
top 3.
I would also add Jin, also same sentiment.
Yep.
AF Donnies were just like, this should be the last time this shit happens. Like, you know, and these are people that have spent thousands of dollars and thousands of hours in the game following that same sentiment of this is bullshit. And they're the rankers, you know? So it's a very interesting perspective.
Got another one about Kizuna insignias here. The numbers are just stupid. Free to play and many chances to hit big numbers. Attack down over the 4.6 chain.
That was the worst part of the Kizuna. That's so dumb. What a stupid debuff.
I think finding ways to nerf our damage in a big damage event is just, it's so deflating. And something that just has to stop. Because like you want players to want to play the game. And Super Boss was always a time where you wanted to play more. Because you like seeing those big numbers. And again, like, you don't have to see those crazy 500 bills, but like,
but don't do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like we got around it. Like shout out Porky. I ended up using Shirahoshin Man Cherry for the first time in like 7 years.
Yeah,
and was able to remove it, right? But it's like the fact that what it does is it nerfs my team because I have to bring a character to remove that. Or my team is now nerfed, mind you. After releasing fucking Sugo Rush, sorry for swearing, but after releasing Sugo Rush and having a chain, if you do below a certain chain, does not make sense. Sugo Rush is the idea of pumping your chain up so you do big damage. But then to say, hey, by the way, if you go above 4.6, sit down, rat. Like, don't do that's a weird situation to be in.
Yeah, like at the same time, like I didn't completely hate it because I didn't love it because it made you play the game a little bit differently. Sure. I don't think it was the right way to go about it. I saw a SubConsi video. He did the same thing that I did. For my versus Dex team, I was hitting a good or a great as my first hit. So I'd finish the chain at 4.5 rather than finishing the chain at 4.6, where he was doing the same thing with the Gear 5 rush. He'd miss right before Gear 5, so Gear 5's chain would start again, which was like, it's a really like different way to play the game, right? But like the way that they went about nerfing it completely wasn't the right way of doing it. I think that in like that immunity thing that they do, where they stop you using an attack buff, like I actually don't dislike that because it forces you to bring one unit to get around that, and then it's like, okay, sweet, now I've got 5 units to work with. Let's see how many of these thousands of debuffs they've given me at my disposal. Let's see how many I can put on a team.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely.
This comment here is actually really good. I've been playing for 1 month, first Kazuna event for me, but I couldn't beat the super boss even once. I know the game and reached level 37 in 10 star with 1 month of calculation, but super boss was completely impossible. That's no fun. Having all the new characters for each event is ridiculous. It's the important thing that I highlight my own variation with what I have.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a great perspective. I mean, take it from that guy. I mean, if we're taking it at face value, playing the game for a month was able to do 37 10 star. So like, it really does get to a point where you have to think about it. It's like, are 3 and 7 star really that valuable? But I think that's a whole other conversation to have, right? And we could go on for hours in that capacity there.
Yeah.
But like, I do think that you can't call it Super Boss. What did we say the other day? Pirate Alliance Super Boss Kizuna, and then not have the aspect of Pirate Alliance involved where you're taking down super bosses. Like,
yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, it's just it's not a super boss at the end of the day. It's just basically like a regular Kizuna. So.
It's regular Kizuna with like something fancy other two run, like an extra boss. Like, it doesn't help. And
like I said, I could go through all these comments, but like I'll just get to the crux of some of these last ones because we pretty much touched on everything that we want to touch on.
Yeah, I think so.
But all I'm hearing is this game should be strictly pay to win because I like spending more money than others. For most people do and spend little time for free to play shouldn't be allowed to get past top 10,000 no matter how much they post and how much they've saved up and how much time they're willing to put into the 3-star difficulty. I think there's another one here. Complaining because average players finally have a chance to complete against big whales and usually win in this game, spend their whole salary on each Sugo Fest. To be able to boast is god tier shameful. It's legit a gigantic investment, blah, blah, blah. Kazuna's a brain dead game mode. You'll pull every Sugo Fest, fine. Happy to brag about your fully limit break broken accounts.
Real quick, you want to run some numbers?
Yeah, just give me 1 second. I want to, like, this Shoutout comment's actually really good. But there was a couple other ones that were just like, shameful you boys are talking about this in terms of, like, letting free-to-play players and actually, like, why is this a problem? Free-to-play players don't care about your Kazuna issues. You can't brag anymore. This is not about bragging. And like I said, if the free-to-play players I
did a regular amount of runs. I did a normal-ass amount of runs. I barely pulled on most of these banners. Like, I want to run the numbers. I got... In my Kizuna, in my team, I got rank 1018, right? That's 6 million points. With your natural stamina, in your, in your 3-star runs, let's have a look here. 200 runs is 10 million points. Okay, a little less. Are you going to tell me that you're going to be doing somewhere like, 180? Oh, a bit more than 180, maybe like 190 odd runs, 100. Are you gonna tell me that you're gonna be doing like about 200, like just under 200 3-star runs with your natural stamina? Like, unfortunately, that's not possible. To do 200 runs, you need 16 potions plus natural stamina. Like, We're not making this, and I played a regular amount. I think I spent like 7 potions and my natural stamina. Like, with all due respect, you're entitled to your own opinions. You can call us shit, dumb, stupid, like entitled, like you spend all this money. It's like, yeah, like we, for better or worse, we play the game a lot and we enjoy the product. It's like having any other hobby, right? You spend the money on your hobby, right? But to kind of try to position it in a way like, oh, the big bad whale is upset now because the free-to-play player can compete. You're not competing though, sorry. You're just not. Unless you're saving up your potions for 6 months and trying one time on 3-star, like, I'm sorry, but that argument is mute and just it doesn't work.
So whatsoever. if you took advantage of this right now and you did the 3-star, you've been playing the game for, I don't know, since Kazuna started, and you've been saving potions for God knows how long, and you have over 150 potions, you burnt them all, and you did a really good ranking. Honestly, kudos to you. Like, we're not here to throw shade at that. But if you honestly think that moving forward, this strategy is going to benefit free-to-play players, you got rocks for brains. And again, you're entitled to your opinions, but in 6 months of a free-to-play player farming up potions, you're going to net yourself somewhere between 30 to 35 potions.
36 potions.
Roughly,
generally,
about that.
You know?
A whale can buy, within 6 months, they can buy over 160 potions, as well as those, like, free-to-play ones that we spoke about. It's like 180 potions that they can get in 6 months. You're not competing with that. You're just not.
And if you want to think you are, again, more power to you, bud. That's awesome. Go ahead.
Go for gold.
Like,
on top of that, you need to have a team that can do 1 trillion damage.
Yes.
And whilst, yes, 3-star is drastically easier, it's a lot easier to hit the trillion damage mark, it still takes a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of play, a lot of...
maxed out units.
A lot of maxed out units to get either on a banner, whether you're saving gems. And if you do it efficiently, you do it the one time and you stick it to me. Like
fair,
again,
yeah, more power.
Kudos to you. But at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
if this is a continuing trend, you're just going to see the endgame players burning this game mode into the ground, and no one having fun, the whole thing becoming redundant. So, again,
playing 3-star generally for free to play, fine. Playing 3-star as a free to play and expecting to rank, delusional.
It's just not going to happen. And at the end of the day, the product of this video, going through your comments, talking about it to begin with, is to make the game mode better. It's to make 10-star become more viable, to get more rewards, to get more tickets, to make Super Boss more fun, and actually develop the game mode like they did with Treasure Map. I remember people hating Treasure Map. Now we're like, oh yeah, Treasure Map's actually pretty cool. Like, I get to 10 million pretty easily. It's a lot more manageable. It's a lot more bearable. PK for a while was kind of like, why? Now everyone's like, oh, this is actually kind of sick because up to level 100 is super easy, and then 150 is kind of challenging. It's a nice balance, and I'm getting a lot of rewards
anyway to keep farming. Like, you know, there's, and I want to put it out there. I'm not confirming, denying anything, but if you don't think that we as people who have pedestals, I know that's self-fulfilling, but just roll with me, are trying our best to talk to Bandai, like, it's a bit upsetting, to say the least. Like, we do genuinely try to reach out and do the needful as much as humanly possible to try to get the best outcome for the community. Whilst I'm not saying that we speak on behalf of the community, I think that we've been in the game long enough to kind of grasp what the community desires. I think it's unreasonable to sit there and say, I want 1 million gems a month. I mean, of course I fucking do. Sorry, swearing again. But I do think that it is reasonable to say, hey, like, maybe there needs to be a conversation about making 3-star accessible to free-to-play players, but simultaneously not making 3-star the viable strategy to go and rank. Like, the whole point is 10-star should be what people should be playing. Plain and simple. 3-star should be for the free-to-plays and the beginners. Absolutely, I agree. Without a shadow of a doubt, I agree. But you can't be sitting there genuinely when the mathematics are right. I'm looking at the data right now and telling me that you yourself can rank with your natural stamina playing 3-star. Plain and simple. If you have a problem, leave a comment. Better for the algorithm. Let's hop into the Shoutout.
But on that note, I think we pretty much touched on everything. I think just Kazuna needs to increase the stamina for players, allow them to play the game mode more. And then in turn, the numbers don't matter that much, right? If you're allowing players to do an extra 25 Super Boss runs every Super Boss, it's not a big deal that I'm doing less damage now because I'm playing more.
They've already nerfed the tickets for Super Boss anyway, so what's 25 more runs? It's
Absolutely.
Another,
I think that needs improvement.
2,500 tickets is nothing.
Ticket gains definitely need improvement. The Kazuna insignias in the boxes need to be increased. The rewards need to be modernized. That is definitely a must. And I just think that the balancing between the points you get from 3-star compared to 10-star, but more importantly, the points you get from clearing a Super Boss needs to be reworked drastically. Once again, I appreciate everyone that has put a comment down, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, whether it's I don't even care, I'm not watching this video, it's 40 minutes long and I don't have time. Like, big ups to everyone that has taken the time to put in their 2 cents about this, because at the end of the day, the more noise we make about this, the more they listen, the more they understand, and only productivity can come from it. Sure, it might be a step backwards before it's 2 steps forward. Sure, it might be 2 steps backwards before it's 1 step forward. But at the end of the day, if things are moving, if things are shaking, then we're doing our role. We're doing our job.
Absolutely right.
So, as always, sir, big thank you to you for coming on. Any last words before you go?
I love it. I love being here. I love talking Treasure Cruise. And again, like, I might have sounded very rude there, and parts of me definitely was. But at the end of the day, we are trying to have a productive conversation about what we think is the end goal. And at the end of the day, we can't expect Bandai to pull out, the stops to make the game better, because they're a company. They got to make money, right?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the premise of it. But at the same time, don't get it twisted. We are trying our best to make the game better. And like Stump said, making noise and putting things out on Twitter and being constructive criticism is way more than saying this game is shit. We say, and don't get twisted, I'm the guy. I'm the negative Twitter presence, right? But I'm very known for saying this game is shit. Here's how you improve it. That's how you present criticism. You don't just say this product is bad and end your situation there. You say this product is bad. Here's how I would improve it. And that's how we can create, a constructive environment for everyone. But I've got nothing else to say. I appreciate me being on here again. I'll see you guys in 6 months for the annual State of the Game. If nothing else pops up from there.
Too fair.
I appreciate it.
Nah, big love to you. As always, I'll leave Papi's Twitter and stuff down below. Make sure you go hit him with a like. There's a reason he comes on for the State of the Games. There's a reason that I talk to him more than anyone about this game. So big appreciation to you, my friends. If you guys did enjoy the video, just like last time, belt the like button. If you didn't, or if you're just feeling a bit how you going, hit the dislike button. Like,
yeah, let us know.
Let us know. Comment away and share it around. Put me as your 10th friend on MySpace. Do all that fun stuff.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
that's
do all that fun stuff, Send me an instant message and let's keep the conversation rolling. But big ups to you again, Papi, being here.
Habbo Hotel.
All right, guys.
On RuneScape.
Thank you all for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Later.
Peace.